My name is Katkov, and welcome to the A's in an Hour series. I think it's possible to get straight A's in university while only studying an hour a day. I thought it would be really cool to make a brand that I wish I had as a resource in my freshman year of university. Previously, I've shown students how to get A's in just 2 hours a day, but I wanted more. I know it can be better.
What up? All right, it is episode 2. We are back, baby. It is time to become the most efficient student on earth. For those of you who are new to this channel, welcome. I am so happy that you are here joining me along for this journey and this video series called A's in an Hour. So for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Katkov. I'm the founder of this company right here called UofTearless, and we help students become the optimal versions of themselves by providing as much non-BS advice as possible. So for this series, I am taking you through the entire semester to show you exactly how I get A's in under an hour, because I believe it is possible, and we're going to try to achieve this goal together like a family. So previously, I've shown you guys how to get A's in under 2 hours. That is the whole premise behind the video series on my website called the 2-Hour Method. That is what is tried and true, but we're going to be adding to it this semester. We're going to be even more efficient, going to try to work that way down all the way to an hour. So these are the 10 things that are going to make me the most efficient student on earth. And I promise you that if you do them too, you will join me in becoming a tierless student. So let's get right into it. Number 1, this is quite a simple one, but I promise you that it has such a big freaking impact on your life. Let me show you around, because tip number 1 is change your environment to change your behavior. If you want a goal, if you want to reach a goal, you need to change the environment. Why? Well, the environment is a much larger system than me, than you, than all of us, okay? So you are never going to have as much of an impact on the outside environment as the environment has on you. So to change your behavior, to change the habits, to change the goals, to make it possible to reach the ultimate level of productivity and efficiency, you got to change your environment to make sure that riding the wave is in the direction that you want, right? Because we don't want to be fighting the environment the whole way. That is no fun. That just sucks all around. It's like having a really bad friend who's always negative. So I'm going to show you around my office right now. You can see here, I have engineered what I believe is the perfect office. So you take a look here. We have plants, we have me, we have this desk. It's a standing desk. And then we don't have a lot of stuff here. Okay, it's pretty minimal. We have my flannel here when I get cold, but that's pretty much it. Okay, it looks like this. It's a pretty nice setup, right? So I've also soundproofed all of this so that I never have to worry about super echoey stuff. In here, that's the bathroom, so that I don't even have to leave this area to go to the bathroom. And the lighting is fairly good in most settings. Obviously, it's better here because this is where I film. But plants, why plants? Well, there's something called biophilia. And biophilia is the innate human attraction to other living organisms, and it is shown to decrease irrational and irritative behavior, something called the reasonable person model in psychology, which I study. I study cognitive science with specification in memory enhancement and adaptive learning. So I basically learn how to learn as fast as freaking possible. But biophilia, add plants, they don't even need to be real. Your brain just thinks that you are surrounded by nature, and it automatically makes you way more productive. The second thing is this light here. So I could actually, most of the time I turn off all of the lights, but I'm not gonna do that because you can't see me. But this light would be off, this light would be off, and this would be the only light here. Oh shoot, you can't see. Oh, so this would be the only light here. Wow, that's really dark, but that's okay. You can see we have the mic set up, so I just bring this over here, start talking, blah, 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 right? Pretty cool setup, but the main thing is almost zero distractions, because I can't be distracted when I'm on my way to greatness. If I'm only studying 1 hour a day, you best believe that hour is going to be efficient as fuck. So that is tip number 1. Now, the second thing, and this one is crucial because I promise you that most of the problems that you have in school, they come from this one thing that you're not doing. And I didn't do it as a freshman either, but it is super important, is leverage active learning. I promise you, it is so much more efficient and you don't actually learn when you're passive. So things like rewriting notes, rewatching lectures, reading other people's notes. This is just incredibly inefficient learning. Why? Well, because all of the information is right there in front of you. I can read it. The problem with this is that everything makes sense when it's right there in front of you or when somebody's explaining it to you. Like I am talking to you right now, everything I'm saying makes sense. But if you were to go after this video and try to recall it to somebody else and tell them exactly what I said word for word, or not even that, but just the general ideas, this is a pretty long video. So the general ideas, you're gonna have a hard time because you are reconstructing the memory. It's not a video feed. You can't just go and just like play all the video, right? You have to actually practice reconstructing the memory over and over again and then provide it feedback. If it's wrong, change the system in your brain that is producing the answer until it can produce the right answer over and over again, and that's the feedback part. So actively learning involves doing something with the information. So I've pretty much given up note-taking in total, but for those of you who like taking notes, who have yet to move away from it, because hopefully by the end of this, I can convince you that it's not the best use of your time. You only have an hour. You don't want to spend it writing, okay? But when you write notes, it tells you what to study, but it does not actually help you. It is not the act of studying. It just tells you what to study. So that's the problem, is there's no active learning. It's right there, right? And when somebody's explaining to you, when you're rewatching lectures, it's also right there. Right? It's in front of you, somebody's explaining it to you. Everything makes sense when the professor is telling you, but that is really hard to recall. So you need to practice it, and you need to practice it as fast as possible. Let me baffle you with a statistic here. So 80% of what you learn is gone within the first hour if there is no attempt made to recall it. And by attempt, I mean actively engaging with the material, not just rewriting your notes. And there's a couple things you can actually do to help yourself with this, which I will get into later as well. Practices that made me more efficient. That will probably be either the next video or the video after this. So stay tuned for that. So for my credentials, I had a 4.35 GPA in high school. Then when I came to university, I got bombed with a 37%. I absolutely tanked my midterm, okay? This is my lowest grade ever of all time, and I pretty much wanted to drop out of university throughout the rest of the semester. And then I actually learned how to study. I stopped rewriting notes, I stopped rewatching lectures, I stopped taking other people's notes. I did active recall and spaced repetition, and I will show you exactly how I do that throughout this entire series. And I went from studying 8 hours a day and dying to studying 2 hours a day. I'm at the top of the class, top 4%, top 5%. It was top 4% then. It's probably honestly higher now. And yeah, now I get A's while studying 2 hours a day, and it is very easy for me. Like, it's not even that challenging. So yeah, if you want concrete proof evidence with numbers, there's something called the operation span test, which is essentially a test of working memory. What is working memory? Well, working memory is how many items you can hold in short-term memory and manipulate them. And that is a test of pretty much your cognitive ability, right? The better you can manipulate and use items, the more creative you are, the more powerful your processing power is, and the more likely you can get things into long-term memory. So last year, I took the test in my psych class. I got a 41 out of 60. The average was 43, so I was just slightly below the average. This year, I was struggling on that test, by the way. This year, I was not struggling. I thought it was very, very easy. You have to get, so the OSPAN test works like this, right? So it will give you a math problem, not too difficult, but just something to make it so you can't rehearse the information. In other words, repeat it over and over again. So gives you math, gives you a word to remember, gives you math, gives you a word to remember, math, word. And it just does that over and over again, multiple trials, anywhere from like 1 to 7 words that you have to remember. Does this multiple times to test how many items you can hold in your working memory. And you have to get at least 85% correct on the math for it to count. I ended up getting 98% correct and 100% on the OSPAN test. So if you think of a normal distribution curve, the average 43, I'm at 100. There are not very many people on Earth that have a perfect OSPAN score. And I honestly think I could have gone to like 10, 12 items without too much trouble because I learned how, and I will teach you how because it is going to be the best semester of our lives. So that is the second thing that made me the most efficient student on Earth. Learn to leverage active recall and spaced repetition. I promise you, it's so much better. So much better. So what tool do I use for this? Well, most of the time I use Anki, which is a digital flashcard making software. It is free on your computer. You do have to pay for it on your phone, unfortunately, but this is how I justified it. I have no affiliation with them, by the way. I just use them all the time. Anki, I think it costs like 20 bucks, okay? If it saves me an hour of minimum wage, which your time, by the way, as a student is worth way more than minimum wage, but if it saves you at least minimum wage, like that's the bare minimum. It saves you 2 hours. That's more than $20. So yeah, I mean, like if it saves you more than 2 hours, it's worth it, right? And it saved me, honestly, I can't even count how many hours it saved me. Probably, oh gosh, I don't know, closing in on 1,000 now over the past like 2 years, because I can do it while studying. I have a remote control on my bike. I will show you that too in tomorrow's vlog. But yeah, it is awesome. Use Anki. It's better. The effect you get from writing your notes by hand of memory is drastically outweighed by the fact that I can make probably 120 flashcards in an hour. So that's like one every 30 seconds. Probably a lot faster if I am doing it not in lecture and not waiting for the professor to say what's on the slides. But yeah, and then I can study them. I study 50 new cards per day per class. Every class is roughly 200 flashcards. So I learn all of the lecture, or like all of the week's content in 4 days. I review everything for 3 days. It is 100% rock solid in my memory, and that has never taken me more than 2 hours a day. But now 2 hours ain't gonna cut it, so we gotta cut it down to 1 hour. How is Simon going to manage this? Well, but number 3 is with hella contrast, not balance. Your life, it's cool to have balance, but it implies that you're doing 2 things at once. I am really good at multitasking because I have ADHD, but it's so bad. Like you are doing both things worse. And if you want proof, I'll give it to you right now. Write out multitasking doesn't work on a piece of paper and time yourself how long it takes. Then below that, multitasking doesn't work. Now I really understand, but for both of those sentences, one on top of the other, you're going to write the first letter of the first sentence, the first letter of the second sentence, second letter, third letter, fourth letter, fifth letter, and see how long it takes you. Promise you, it's way longer because you have to catch up to where you were on the previous task when you switch every time. It's very cognitively expensive. Takes a lot of attentional resources. So always, always, always focus on one thing at a time. Never multitask. Just task, okay? Just task. Just single task, okay? That is like the key, and I promise you it's gonna make a world of difference. So to reiterate the first 3, we have change your environment to change your behavior. We have active recall and spaced repetition, and the one we just covered, do you remember what it was? Only focus on one thing at a time. Sorry, I was focusing on 2 things at a time. I was thinking, see, there, boom. You can see that it's you need to focus, you need to hone in. And that is actually how you get into flow. Flow, oh my gosh. Flow states are amazing. That's the feeling when you lose track of time, you lose your sense of self, and work just appears done. And in flow state, you can actually work up to, I believe it's 500% faster than normal working states. So it is just so much better to work in a flow state. So you need to achieve a flow state. That is single tasking. Now we can get into the next behavior. This is one that just makes it easier to return to. And this is always leaving something to come back to. Always leave something to wrap up from the previous task, because your brain is a completionist. It wants to finish everything. And so if you don't finish something, you're going to be thinking about it all the time. Now, that's not necessarily a good thing if you're trying to work, but what if it's good to get you back to work? Now, I'm not expecting that all of you will be able to do an hour, and I'm not expecting that any of you can do 2 hours right now. That's fine if you can't. Honestly, if you want to be able to study in 2 hours a day, the video series on my website is everything that you'll need and no fluff. That's just like you follow it, you're good to go, and eventually you'll be able to chop your time down. But that took me like 4 years to figure out. I started learning in high school, and I only figured it out like last year. So now it is 100% success rate. It is just like the most ridiculous thing on earth. Like it is my unfair advantage, is what I tell people. And yeah, so you watch this series, you're gonna learn how. And not only that, so I know I'm kind of speaking to you right now, but in a little bit, we're going to go into me actually doing the thing, and I'll show you how to do it, and it's gonna be pretty cool. So I definitely would stick around for that. But yeah, this is gonna be the most valuable series that you ever watched in your entire life. I'm graduating this semester. This is my last semester. My goal is to make this the fastest semester of my life, the easiest semester of my life, and the best semester of my life. And I want to leave behind the blueprint for all of you to follow so that you can make school suck less. Because at UofTearless, we make school suck less. That is the whole point. That's why I created UofTearless, so that I could have the resource that I wish I had in first year as a freshman, because it sucked to have to go search on the internet and nobody had any direct answers for me. I had to go figure it out and read through all the research, and I was slow at reading. My God. I read now about 10 seconds per page. It took me 3 minutes to read a page. I mean, just like absolutely ridiculously slow. Because I would just reread the same line over and over again, because my ADHD brain, squirrel, monkey brain, whatever you want to call it. For anyone who has ADHD and are thinking, this sucks, it's going to be harder for the rest of my life, I promise you, if you know how to use it, it becomes your superpower. And it is just, you can do so much more. You are more creative. You think faster. You can handle more things at a time. The pressure, you can withstand more. And not only that, but you usually have better awareness of things and you don't miss details. Now, we do get overstimulated, but that's because we take in more information. So it's not always a bad thing. And I promise you that if you believe that it is your superpower, that is the first step to becoming a great student. And that is the message. Like, if I were to die today or tomorrow, that's the message I want to leave, is that anybody can become what you want to be. It's just a fact of you believing it. Because if you believe it, you'll go look for the ways and you'll start noticing the ways that work. And that's all that really matters, honestly, is just like, if you know the what, you can figure out the why. And if you know the why, you can figure out anyhow. So, never sell yourself short, and let's try to become better together, because the world needs more people who are more capable, and I want to help you become better. And not that where you are is bad right now, but we all want to become better. So let's get better together. Let's, become a family. Let's work together. Push me to do better, and I will inspire you and show you the way. And having that, kind of pressure behind me, I've learned to handle it, and it pushes me to do more for you. So if you let me know that you're on board, like, honestly, just drop it down in the comments. Let me know you're on board. Let me know you're with me, because that gives me more focus and dedication to not let you guys down. And the more consistent I can be, the better you can be, the more information you're going to get, the more ways I can show you that you can be more efficient and help you with things that you probably have not thought of yet. So that is the first 4. The 5th thing that is going to make you an absolute academic weapon of mass destruction is to have a bare minimum of a productive day. Now, let me show you what this looks like so you have some idea. Okay, I'm gonna go to my computer here. I'm gonna turn you around. Okay, so I'm not gonna BS you guys. This is my actual to-do list every single day. You can see here, first of all, growth is better, not more. That basically means that what matters more is what you do in the hours that you work, not necessarily that more hours is better. So we also have Anki. Anki is the software that I told you about, the flashcard making. So I make sure to do all my flashcards every single day. And then we have film day 163. So that is just a video journal that I do every single day, and I'm on day 163. Film a community video. This is something that I post in the community every single day. I just at least make one post so that everybody knows what's up, what's going on, and how to become better. So if you want to join the community, I currently am not taking more people right now, but if there's enough demand, I might let people in. And then AeroFit, that is my breathing device. And then piano, I practice that every single day. So this helps me with rowing, and then there's rowing practice / lift. Usually I have a secondary on here too, but for right now, I'm recovering from being sick, so I deleted it. But yeah, so basically just check everything off. Work on long, that is what I'm doing right now, working on a video YouTube long. Film one short just for Instagram, posted already today, or film that and posted one short per day. Then Cog Lab. This is the psychology assignment that I'm going to be doing later. And then read all of my PSY 494 readings. That is a class that I have. But what's really funny is that I'm going to try to get through all of them today. And not only am I going to try to get through all of them today, but I'm going to show you how I speed read through all of them in one day. So what is the significance of this? Well, you know what's crazy is that for this class, there are mostly readings. And if I can do all of them in one day, that pretty much means that I have learned all of the class content for an entire semester in one day. Now, if you think about that over the span of like, today is Saturday. I've already read the textbook, by the way, for one of my classes through front to back. It took me 70 minutes, and it was a pretty dense textbook. I read another book for fun yesterday. That was 240 pages, took me 65 minutes. And today I'm gonna try to go through all 30 readings. There's 30 something of them. They're all like 15 pages, which is a lot of pages, like what, 300 something? No, that can't be right. 450-ish pages. So if I can get through all of that, that means that I can read and learn an entire semester in one day. And you might be thinking, well, you know, you're just speed reading, you're kind of glazing through it, you're not really taking the information. Wrong! That is one of the biggest misconceptions that I hear from people, that, oh, you don't actually take it in because you're speed reading. Woo-hoo, you don't read for fun. Damn right. Because one, I don't take in as much information when I read slowly, because I don't do the mental priming, and I also just trail off because it's too boring, there's not enough stimulation. I need fast, quick pace things. I just can't, ADHD. Sorry, it's kind of how it works. So I need to go fast, and your brain can take in more as you practice. So you basically just train your peripheral to take in more and more words. Now, so it started off by doing like one every, you just basically reduce the number of fixations you have on the page. And then over time, I'll show you how to do this later, but over time you just take in more. So then maybe you only have to do it twice, you go down, and then I'm at the point now where I can just look down the page and take in everything on the sides. So I just kind of go like, if I'm really tired, I'll have to like squiggle a little bit. But yeah, I also show you something really cool that you can do with your books to make them not like fold your hands in half, like because it's just so hard to like hold the book open. It's called spine training. It's one of the coolest things ever. And I can't remember where I learned it, but gosh, that saves you so much pain when you're speed reading. Those are the first 5 things. So for tip number 6, I'm gonna bring you into my room. You can see my room. There's honestly not a lot in it. I like to keep it as boring as possible because pretty much all I do in here is sleep. There's a projector, projects onto the wall so I can watch movies if I want to. But what I wanted to show you is over here. So let's see. Yes, so this, we have some textbooks for fun, and then a bunch of other books. But this book right here, Unlimited Memory, not sponsored in any way, but it is goated. I'm not saying like it's amazing. So I'll bring both of these books in. And then I have one other book, sneak peek. We have these two books. These two books are responsible for probably like at least 300 hours of my time back, including the time it took to read them, by the way. Okay, so these two books, Unlimited Memory by Grandmaster Kevin Horsley. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Kevin. And Speed Reading by Cam Knight. This book, read it first. You learn how to speed read. Honestly, this is about 50% of what I know about speed reading. The rest is Simon's super secret, suave ways of reading. So I started off reading one page every 3 minutes, and by the end of this book, I was reading at a pace of around 100 pages per hour. So it says 200 plus pages per hour. That is true. If you practice enough, using just the stuff in this book, you can get to 200 pages an hour. But I don't want 200 pages, I want 300, 400 pages. So Unlimited Memory, this will teach you a lot about memory. Honestly, if I'd read this book in first year, then I probably would not have been suffering very much. But yeah, some of the stuff in here is how I got a perfect OSPAN test. So, or OSPAN score on the OSPAN test. So these two books, these are my tip number 6, or tip number 6, read this first so that you can read this faster. This is tip number 7. And then practice, just hammer away. Alrighty, y'all, we're back in the lab. We're in the lab. It is time to speed read. So here's what's gonna happen. I am going to plop up a screen recording. So I'm going to move this over a little bit, try to get some extra room here. So I've broken this up. Actually, let me just start the recording right now so that you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. As you can see here, I have downloaded some of the articles. Now, you might be wondering why only some. Well, that is because I want to group it into chunks. So I have 9 weeks of readings to do, and I only want to focus on 3 weeks at a time. For me, it just helps to break it down a little bit more. So I'm gonna try to get through all these readings as fast as possible. I lied a little bit. We're not starting at 3:43 or whatever it was. It is now 4:06 because I needed a little break after filming that first part. That was a lot of mental energy, but we're doing okay. So yeah, we're just gonna get through all of this. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 readings. I'm gonna show you what we do to prepare. So first of all, you need to go and look through all of them and just see how long they are. Okay, so subtract the first page, that's 6 pages. And then this one here, they're actually not that long. I thought they were gonna be longer. Okay, cool, so that one's 4 pages. This next one is, let's see, so it's 12 pages, but minus the last one, 2, 3, so 9 pages. You go through it for a couple of reasons. The first is to just know the ratio of like words to images, and just know, you need to know things on different levels of understanding. So okay, this one is subtract 1, it's 8 pages. Mainly, oh, okay, we're done. Perfect. Okay, so a couple of things, and we'll get into them right now. The first is you need to know what the paper looks like. Second thing is that you want to read the first topic sentence, not necessarily the first sentence, then the last conclusion sentence, then the first whole paragraph, which is usually the abstract, as you can see right here, and then the full conclusion paragraph. And then you have a really good idea of everything. Then you go through and you read the bolded words, the headers. So that would be like, here, look, categories, boom, right there. This one's concepts, boom, right there. And then connotations, right there. Conclusion, boom. And then you'll have an idea of how it's broken down. So the idea is to like prime yourself with as much stuff that you can know without actually starting to read, just so you have as much capability to put that information somewhere, you know how to categorize it in your brain. So without further ado, let us start reading. Going to set a timer for 1 hour and see if I can do this in an hour. And hopefully I can. Now it is time to grind. Let's do this. Okay. First of all, by the way, I'm going to show you how to speed read for this first one, and then I will just do it and you'll see me do it. So when you speed read, to start out, you want to, so there's certain number of fixations. Fixations are when your eye points somewhere, and then there's something called saccades, which is in between. When your eye is traveling, everything's blurry, your brain actually blocks that out. So the idea is if each fixation, say, takes like a third of a second, you can decrease that by, if you can decrease the 2 on the side and you can just do 1, that, well, already you're reading 3 times faster. You just go instead of right? It's just faster. So you want to take as many bites, like large bites. And then also you can read, so you start off by like doing the, say, like once every third word. So you can take in like the 3 words on each side. As you do this, your peripheral will get more advanced. You'll be able to do it better. But the next thing, it's like, okay, maybe 3 on each side here, 3 on each side here. Okay, so you're just going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, oh gosh, 3, and you just, oh my gosh, okay. And you just try to take in as many words as possible. You can then go into like multiple lines at a time, 2 lines, 2 lines, 2 lines, 2 lines. You'll be like, well, that doesn't make sense. It's not going to be chronological order. Well, I'm here to tell you that it actually does work eventually. You just need to practice at it and read faster than you think you can. And then rule number something is to not go backwards, or at least of the rules of speed reading. Don't go backwards. Why don't go backwards? Well, because that trains your brain that it's okay to miss things. It's not okay to miss things. So the only time you can go backwards is if you get to the end of a paragraph, you're like, I don't know what that meant. And then you have to go back. So that is the way to do it. I'm going to relax a little bit, kick back. Now, let us start the Rocky montage of speed reading. Let's go. I'm going to use my mouse too. The way I do it, by the way, is straight down most of the time, but these are fairly wide, so we'll see. I'm going to use this mouse to track my eyes, and you'll see what I do. Cool. All right. We did the first one. So move on to the second one. That one was about kind of like the history behind emotions and how they don't really exist in vacuums, but they have a lot of other identities tied to them where they describe different mental states and with different connotations. Yeah, as you can see, went okay. I'm fairly tired right now, actually, I'm not gonna lie. Some of that I did not take in as well as I probably should have. I usually do this first thing in the morning. My cognitive abilities, they start to falter at around 2 p.m. This is a little bit later than usual, but I was doing other things this morning. So this is better than the psych labs. I don't think I can do those right now. Just I need to be at peak cognition, so I'll do those tomorrow morning. Anyway, enough yapping. Let's get through the rest of these. Okay. That one was on disgust and, how physiologically it affects the body, how we represent disgust, and then also what emotions it portrays and how it causes different thinking patterns. All right, let's go on to the next one. Okay, I'm so tired. This reading was about Darwin and his ideas on empathy. Oh man, I'm gonna take a break after the third. Try to get through all of these. These ones are shorter, so I should be fine. Also, pro tip, if you don't think you have enough energy, drink water, eat food, you're probably gonna be fine. All else fails, just sleep a little bit, come back, good to go again. I don't have enough food, but that's okay. We'll push through for now. Okay, that main one, that was all just like about the expression of emotions and like the 6 main emotional types and the differences between like disgust and fear and how they were exactly opposite and that sort of thing. And how they measured it. There's a lot of how they measured it. Next. Oh my gosh. I need a nap so badly, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I can do this in an hour. Oh wait, no, I only have one more, right? Just think about it, let's go. All right, we got this. It was basically the Jameson thing, but honestly, there wasn't much else that was said. Just like kind of debates over whether it was correct or not. I'm not gonna lie, I definitely need a break, a little nap. But that's 30 minutes, so 30 minutes, I think I need to eat some food. Maybe I'll go eat some food and then come back and see if I can knock out some more of this. We're doing pretty well. I'm just feeling sorry for myself. Yeah, that was good. Just made it through a good chunk of all of them. So 1/3 of the semester done just like that, 30 minutes, an hour and a half, honestly, not too bad either. So yeah, like I said, we're not gonna already be able to do an hour, but we can definitely do under 2 hours. So that is what I'm looking forward to, just being done with all of these readings. And yeah, today is a good day. Today was a very productive day. I'm very happy with today. Tomorrow I will do the cog lab. I'm gonna try to finish up these readings. I'll probably time lapse them just so you can see that I'm doing them, but I don't think I'm gonna say what I'm doing in each one. I'm just gonna throw the time lapse on the screen and just have it be that. It will also take up less storage on my phone because this is just getting insane. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go eat, going to take a little nappy nap. It is 4:44 p.m. So maybe I'll come back around 6, try to knock out another third of these readings, and maybe if I don't have time or I just don't have it in me, I'll just do the other third tomorrow. But regardless, that's still pretty good. So yeah, pretty happy with that. See you later. Alrighty, y'all. So I ain't gonna lie, it's the next day. Okay, I decided not to do any more readings for the night, but you know what? That's fine, because there is no point in doing all of this if you can't actually enjoy your university experience. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to read through the rest of these articles this morning. I looked at the ones for today, and honestly, I was just like this second section, they're all like 13 pages, and I was just like, I didn't have the capacity to do that last night. So instead, I hung out with friends and actually had a really good time. They all went out afterwards, but I went to bed, which, you know, usually I'd have FOMO, but this morning I was actually very, very glad that I did not go out. So yeah, that's what we're rocking with. I did just do my psych labs. One of them, I was like, I think like 10-15% above the average in one of the memory tests. And then the other one, that one, I believe the average was like 78 accuracy. So it was basically like you memorize this, or you go through a bunch of words, then you have to remember whether that word was shown or not in a much larger bank of words in the second phase. So with 120 words shown, I was able to recall accurately which words were shown and which ones weren't, with 93% accuracy. So that's definitely something that I have to work on to get it to 100%, which would be awesome. But 93% is actually not bad. I'm fairly happy with that, considering the average was like around 80. So anyway, let's get into it today. Let us cook. So we're gonna go through all of these. I think I have, like, in the second section, there's more readings and they're longer, but I have much more capacity right now because it is morning. It is currently, well, not completely morning. It's 11:31 a.m. So let's see how fast we can do this. Let's get it. Okay, that one, not much to note. Basically, reappraisal helps with controlling emotions. Yeah, other than that, there's just like a lot of data. Next one. So now I am going to go take a 10-minute break, 10-minute nap, and then get right back to it. So I can definitely tell that waste has accumulated in my brain, but not nearly as bad as last night. I can definitely do another round of this. So yeah, 30 minutes on, roughly. That was like 40 minutes, honestly. But I was talking a little bit in between, so 40 minutes and then maybe another 40 minutes, so that it's right now it's 12:15. I think we can probably finish everything by 1 p.m. and then I will talk to you guys after that. I think by now you guys kind of realize the point. You get it. You know how it works, and you can see what I'm doing. Like you can see you've seen my mouse kind of zigzag through the screen, so or just like go down straight if it's small enough. You guys know how it works, but seeing me do it is still good. I want to make sure that I'm not leaving anything out, that you guys can see everything to become freaking awesome students. So that's where we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. I'm going to go take a nap now because I am exhausted. Or actually, I might just like sit here and meditate a little bit. So I found this little gem right here, 6-minute midday recharge, guided meditation, stress and anxiety reset. It's got a nice picture of a coffee. So we're gonna do this and then we'll get back to the grind.
This is a midday energizer meditation. You can use this at any time to recharge, calm stress and anxiety, and get a boost for the rest of the day.
Ready. There.
Think of it like a coffee break for your mind. And just find a comfortable and relaxing spot to sit.
Okay, well, I actually feel a lot calmer now, way more clear-headed. So I think I'm ready to start this next bit. That was 6 minutes, but I'm feeling great. Let's get it. We're done. We finished. Let's go, let's go. We are officially done with the entire semester's worth of readings for PSY 494. So what does that mean? That means I need a break. I am so hungry, but it means I'm done for today too, aside from practicing my presentation. And I think I'm going to do some readings for tomorrow. I have a lot of time in the morning, but I think I just want to get them out of the way. So that's pretty much it. Check this out though. I'm about to check all these things off the list. We're going to see what percentage of the semester I have done so far. All right, so this is, remember, my all of my winter assignments. This is the whole list, but we're going to check off every single one that is a reading for this required class. So let's see, PSY 494, done, 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 done. That is not done. Wait, let me just double check I didn't accidentally check off anything extra. Yeah, no, we're good. We just completed about 15% of the entire semester in about an hour and a half. I don't know about you guys, but to me that's low-key kind of insane. Like the fact that you can do that much work, that's pretty nuts. That's pretty wild. I'm so happy about that. It is currently, we're currently going into week 3 of the semester, by the way. So this is like tomorrow will be day 15 of the entire semester, and I'm already almost 40% of the way done. So as soon as I do some more readings for this week, I think, because I have 2 more that I can check off, I'll be well on my way to over 40% done with the semester. And then if I crank out the rest of these readings, it's, oh wait, no, sorry, I forgot that I did my my labs too. So now I just checked off which are these 2 here. So now 38.2%. And then after these readings, it will be closer to like 41, 42. That's pretty crazy. That's insane. That's insane. We are cruising through this. So A's in an hour, it's coming. Yeah, this is gonna be freaking insane. So that is all for this episode. This is episode 2 of A's in an Hour series. Be sure to subscribe if you want to follow along, if you want to know how to become the most optimal student on earth, if you want to join my Tearless Tribe family. And if you have any more questions, just leave them in the comments below. I answer every single one. If you want to start this yourself, then go access the 2-hour study method video series on my website, because that is going to give you the foundation for all of this. And then you can work with me right now in this series and watch me online and see exactly what I'm doing, knowing all of the stuff already, to become more efficient, because this series, it requires me to know everything on how to be really efficient, but I want you to know that too, so that you can get the most out of watching these videos, so that after you know how to get A's in 2 hours, we can then work together to get it down to 1, become super efficient, and really enjoy your university experience, have those impromptu nights of fun that I just had yesterday. So that is all for today, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. If I don't see you in the next one, I'll be mad.